guys can hear behind me, we got the Mustang running here. Let's take a look. Welcome to vlog episode number 2. Now, like I said last time, the car this week, horsepower gain is going to be a little bit more radical. So let's take a look at what we're working with. We are dealing with a 2017, so more or less brand new, Ford Mustang GT. This is a 5-liter 5.0 V8. Let's see if I can get this hood open here somehow. This car is 100% stock at this point, and I assume it doesn't have really any miles on it either. So what we need to do is get this thing up on the rollers, find out what it's making at the wheel right now, and then we'll kind of talk about what we're going to do to it. Little hint though, we're going to make this one whine a bit.
I don't know what year the dyno is. It 4th? 5th? Bosses used to be 5th.
So our baseline power pull numbers are 318 wheel horsepower and 366 foot-pounds of torque for this 2017 Mustang. Now, like I said, this car is 100% stock right now. For now. We're going to throw some parts at it here. I'll kind of go through what we're going to do to it here in just a second. But that's not too bad for a 100% bone stock car. But it's not good enough for what we want. So here's some of the parts we're going to throw on this thing. As you can see, there's a couple major parts here with this 2.3 liter VMP supercharger kit with a set of ID 1000 cc injectors, fuel system, and their VMP boost pump. We're also going to install a set of Cook's long tube headers and a couple little basic parts. So let's get to the dirty work and find out how much power this thing is going to make. You guys can hear behind me, we got the Mustang running here. Let's take a look. The VMP supercharger doing a little work there. Essentially a little basics here how a blower like this works. The air is going to come in the intake just like it does before, only now it's going to go through this head unit here of the supercharger where the air is actually compressed on its way through a air to water intercooler right here, which is what one of these tanks here is, and that cools the air charge since the blower generally creates some heat while it's compressing the air, and then the air then goes from there into the engine. When you make more compressed air, you need more fuel, and that's the reason why we upgraded the fuel system in this as well. Now this fuel system is large enough to accommodate E85 ethanol and more boost, but for now it's time to get this thing up on the rollers, see how much more power we're making with our mods, and get some numbers. And with that, you can see we got our compare up here, made 543 wheel horsepower and 494 foot-pounds of torque. That's a peak gain of about 162 wheel horsepower and 140 foot-pounds of torque. With this car, like I said, we're just doing pump 91, so we are planning on pulling it down quite a bit more later. The pulley we originally wanted to go with, if we were going to do the E85 stuff, was about 6 millimeters smaller, which would have drove that supercharger probably around 6 more pounds of boost. So substantially more power that way. But since we're just on 91 pump right now, we want to keep it safe and reliable for the rest of this spring here and potentially do more with it later. But I'd say this was a pretty good outcome for being the pulley size that it is and running around 8 pounds of boost. Well, that's a wrap on this second episode of Will It Dyno. Thanks again to Excessive Autosports and the owner of this vehicle, essentially, for letting us do all this cool stuff to it. Which, like I said before, we'll be getting a pulley, a smaller pulley, and a couple other little things here. So we will be seeing this one again probably, and it shouldn't be too long before we see this one again, to turn it up a little bit more and make more power. So please like and share this vlog if you're enjoying it. Follow me. I'm going to try to do as many as I can. But we got to get going because this next one is going to be a bit of a special one because we're traveling. So stick with me and hopefully I can get this next one up pretty quick. See you guys later.